students, it's Mr. Sargent here with your Day 96 recap video for ELA and for Science. Now in ELA today, we focused on feeling confident about taking our diagnostic tests this week. So we talked about a couple strategies that we can use. We looked at a couple of videos. We found some new things that we can explore as a class. And we read an incredible book that we're going to read together. Now in science today, we focused on the life cycle of birds. So sit back and stay tuned. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in past videos, we have talked about test-taking strategies as well as test anxiety before. We started this class today by doing something new that we have never done in the second grade before, and that is a Jamboard. And if you look behind me, you will see the Jamboard that it was created by our second grade class. Now, if you look, I asked the question, when you think of testing or when you're taking a test, how do you feel? And if you look around me, there are a number of different feelings that are out there. And I'm here today to tell you it's okay to feel these things. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel nervous. It's okay to feel great about taking a test. Not everyone is a great test taker. Even though you know the information, sometimes the stress of a test can be a little too much sometimes. So today, as we prepare for our iReady diagnostics, we're going to be focusing on some test-taking strategies as well as ways to sort of relax when taking a test. Now, the next thing we did was we watched a video that you can find the description below, and you can find the link for that. And watch this video, and it talks about how you're not alone. There are a lot of people out there. If you're feeling nervous about taking a test, there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way as you. And I think for some reason, knowing that someone else is out there makes me feel better. All right. So after we watched the video, we discussed it a little bit, and then we read the story, The Big Test. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and read that together now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can find The Big Test by Julie Danberg in Epic. I've already assigned it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to read it along with me, or just sit back and listen to me read it. So we have right here The Big Test. And the big thing I want you to look at is the faces and the artwork that are in the pictures as we read this story. You will see a lot of emotion and description based on just the pictures alone. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Mrs. Hartwell felt good, real good, really, really good. All year long, her students had worked hard, learned lots, and had fun. And now, as the school year neared its end, Mrs. Hartwell told her students that they were ready to take the big test. Yuck, said Eddie. Double yuck, said Alexandra. Double, triple, quadruple yuck, said Josh. I hate tests. Mrs. Hartwell laughed. Don't worry, this test is just a chance to show how much you've learned. Like addition? Emily shouted out. And reading? Said Maria. And science, Jack joined in. Mrs. Hartwell nodded in agreement. Leaning forward, she added, we still have one thing left to learn, though. The class was confused. But you just said we were ready, Daniel said. You are, almost. But on the test, you also have to know how to show what you know, explained Mrs. Hartwell. It's the last thing we have to learn. It'll be fun. So during recess time that morning, Mrs. Hartwell sent the students straight to their seats. Today, we're going to practice our sitting still for long periods of time skill. I want you to read at your seat and work by yourself. That doesn't sound like fun to me, Eddie grumbled as he took out his book. The class worked quietly. The reading part was easy. Sitting still without making a sound was hard. For Andy, it was impossible. During recess, while everyone else ran and played, Andy ran and played and worried. After recess, Andy's stomach hurt. He asked to go to the nurse. Okay, said Mrs. Hartwell sadly, but you'll be missing this afternoon's Let's All Read the Direction lesson. Andy didn't mind. On Tuesday morning, Mrs. Hartwell said, Friday is the day of the big test. Since we don't have any bubble trouble when we take it, we're going to practice our fill in the bubble activity or skills. Everyone worked hard. Everyone did just fine. Everyone, that is, except for Emily and Maria. By the time they were done working, Emily had a headache and Maria felt shivery all over. They asked to go to the nurse. Okay, said Mrs. Hartwell, looking concerned, but you're going to miss our morning of the test nutrition lesson. Emily and Maria took their pass and rushed out the door. On Wednesday morning, Mrs. Hartwell said, Today we're going to take a practice test. Do we have to sit for a long period of time? Asked Andy. Yes, said Miss Hartwell. Do we have to fill in all the bubbles? Asked Emily. And be sure to follow the directions, asked Maria. Yes, you do, Mrs. Hartwell smiled encouragingly. Remember that this test is a chance to show what you know before the timer goes off. Although most of the class did just fine, by the time the practice test was over, Daniel had gone to the nurse. As Mrs. Hartwell watched him go, she felt bad, really bad, really bad. On Wednesday afternoon, just before the bell, Mrs. Hartwell reminded everyone that tomorrow was the last day before the big test. We know, Eddie said grumpily. Plus, this big test is no fun. I can't wait for it to be over. All the other students nodded in agreement. As Mrs. Hartwell straightened up her desk, she said, Tomorrow will be better, I promise. When the students entered the classroom on Thursday, Mrs. Hartwell greeted them with a smile. You've all worked hard this year, learned lots, and had fun, right? She asked. Yeah, said the class. And this week we practiced how to show what you know, right? Right, said the class hesitantly. Now it's time for the most important lesson of all, said Mrs. Hartwell. The class groaned as she told everyone to line up. Mrs. Hartwell walked her students down the hall. Everyone felt a little bit nervous. Mrs. Hartwell walked her students right up to the door of the library. Everyone felt a lot nervous. They gasped when she hung a sign on the library door. I feel sick, said Eddie. Mrs. Hartwell said, once you've learned what you can learn and know how to show what you know, it's time to stop worrying and just relax. And I'm going to give you a second to take a look at this picture and look at all the ways that this class is actually learning. It's pretty cool. So the class did just that. And when the students finished the big test on Friday, they felt good. Really good. Really good. So ladies and gentlemen, as we read, it's important to understand that you know what's going to be on this test. And I know you're going to do your best. So it's all right to be nervous. Ladies and gentlemen. But just know that I believe in each and every one of you. And tomorrow is going to be a great chance for you to show what you know. All right? Then after we did that, we talked about a little project that I'd love for you to do tonight, and that is a positivity poster. Now with a positivity poster, you just create a piece of paper or notebook piece of paper or anything like that, and you just write down things that make you smile. Write down phrases that get you pumped up and ready to take this test. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to allow you to have it during your test tomorrow, and I think it will really help you. And I'd love to see what you did, because being positive during these testing times, definitely one of the keys to success when taking any test. In science today, we focused on the life cycle of a bird. Now, if you don't know what a life cycle is with any living creature, whether it's a plant or a bird or a mammal, it starts off as a young and then it moves through the cycle until it gets to be an adult. Now, today we focused on the life cycle of a bird. Now, do you know how a bird starts? Well, if you see right over here, it starts off as an egg. And then after it's done being an egg, it hatches and becomes what we call a hatchling. Now, the birds, when they're first born, don't know how to fly. They don't know how to take care of themselves. In fact, they still need their parents to take care of them. That is for about 11 weeks. Now, during that 11 weeks, the young hatchlings learn how to fly, they learn how to hunt for their own food, and pretty much take care of themselves. And usually after 11 weeks, they turn into the next phase in the life cycle of a bird, and that is, well, the young bird. All right. Then after it becomes a young bird, it becomes an adult bird where it can lay its own eggs and start the cycle all over again. Now, what's great about the life cycle is it continues. All right. As long as we have birds, we're going to have eggs. And as long as we have eggs, we're going to have, you've got it, we're going to have birds. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about life cycles, definitely know that they are repeating, that they go in a circle pretty much, and that without them, any disruption of that cycle would mean the end of that species. Now, if you want to check out some videos, go to Discovery Ed, and you will find some incredible videos that deal with the life cycle of birds, as well as the other animals we're going to talk about this week. Tomorrow, we're going to be really focusing on the life cycle of horses. So stay tuned. Now, before I end today's video, I want to give a special shout out to every student that earned A honor roll in the second grade for the second quarter. Now, whether you earned a B honor roll or A honor roll, I'm proud of you nonetheless, but these students in particular scored straight A's once again for the second quarter. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm super proud of you. So I want to give a thanks to Lewis, Cade, Tylin, Gianna, Jean Abigail, Ryder, Melania, Ahmed, Ilias, Evelyn, Chase, Aman, Michael, Jayla, Solomon, Kayvon, Kelsey, Dakari, Isabella, Eli, Mitchell, Adelie, good job, Bryson, and Demawa. Ladies and gentlemen, earning straight A's, not that hard. It's not that easy to do. But ladies and gentlemen, you all put in so much hard work and effort that I couldn't be proud of seeing how well you earned these grades in the second quarter. But that doesn't mean we stop working for the third quarter. So let's keep up that hard work, and I cannot wait to see just what you do in the third quarter. Now, that's it for today's video. Just remember, there is no homework this week because I want you to focus on being mentally ready for your diagnostic test this week. So, having said that, I hope each and every one of you have an incredible evening.